Hello, my name is Ethan Powell, and you're watching Drakehill Network, the show called Casual Discussions. Hopefully I spelled that correctly in the title, but I'll most likely change it later. I actually thought it would be nice, play a game, and talk about it. So, the topic I really have for today is something very simple that I've ran into on Facebook today. I actually got in an argument over I don't know if I could say an argument or if I'm just being a little bit too over dramatic. There was an article that specified how cisgendered individuals, those who are attracted to the opposite sex from birth and hasn't really changed, are less likely to date or are attractive to those who are transgendered. And ultimately, I thought to myself, well, if someone really has similar interests to me, that should be no problem. And ultimately, the article itself was full of bull. Because why would I go out of my way to cause any issues with an individual because they were transgender? But I added in that message that when I see the word cisgendered, I see as a negative annotation or a negative word, like it's being used as an insult than a descriptor, something that is being used to describe something that's around them. Now, ultimately, the word is specified, and actually, one second, I'm actually going to look up the definition right now. Denoting or relating to a person whose sense of personal identity and gender corresponds with their birth sex. In other words, if you are born a male, you are attracted and you will have more of a masculine personality to a female. That's what I'm getting from that. Now, in media, articles, and everything like that, I see that word used in a negative way, and ultimately it comes off as malicious to me as a person who is technically cisgendered, who is straight, who is at the moment. Now, as far as I know, I am straight. I'm not going to disavow myself possibility of not being gay or bisexual, but as far as I know, I'm not. However, when I try to explain, when I see cisgendered, it seems more hostile or negative. The person who put the link up to show it was trying to point out, like, yeah, and that's why anyone who is cisgendered is not going to be great, yada yada. When this individual, why I follow them or why I have them on my Facebook, is because I actually respect that their work. I respect what they are doing. They're actually a comics writer, and they pretty much have made a comic strip book that I respect. I've actually talked to them face to face back in 2013. So when they were turning around and say that, I was trying to explain, like, I'm not trying to be insulted. I'm not trying to step on someone who is transgender or anything. But when I see an article that is saying that it gives instantly, it pushes me in that mindset that, oh yeah, it's saying that all freaking cisgendered or all straight people are biased, and it makes me feel like all my work and effort of trying to not follow that reasoning or thought process means nothing. Now, granted, there are people out there that are crazy, that are way out there, and I can't help that. There's nothing I can really do about that. But I try to do what I can. Like, I want to go out of my way to help those that are in a position that they would be, that had these biases put against them. I know people that are gay. I know people that have gone through transition of sex and or transgender. I know people that are completely not interested in any sex and most likely won't have sex the rest of their life. They have no reason to do so, and that's their choice. And I completely support that reasoning and thought process because it's freedom to do so. Now, as me looking at that article or articles, seeing posts and stuff, but by practically individuals that go out of their way to think that every single person of that type is a monster, is not only misguided, but it's completely telling me that I'm in the wrong. That, oh, it's a society that's, oh, you're going after the society's biases and inadequacies that you benefit from. This is what happens when it is equal and you have that weird feeling because you are horrible. And that's not, no way in hell that's the case. People are putting up their own biases against me because I feel weird about a specific word that's being used. Hell, I didn't even hear about the word cisgendered until like within the last 5 years. I haven't really heard that word constantly or being used at all until like recently within that time frame. Like, I would have not known what cisgendered was until within the frickin' no later than frickin' 2015. 2015 is when the time I actually kept on hearing that word more prominent, in that I keep seeing articles and stuff about it because it became more like a buzzword to indicate something negative. Because when you see a lot of articles and stuff, now granted, the article that was linked by this individual, they didn't really add any flavor or text to it, they just linked it. And later in the conversation, they said that they didn't agree to the title or anything like that, but they said that my opinion or position is trash. What I'm saying is trash, but I was only trying to explain that I just felt uncomfortable with that specific word because I've had it been used against me as an insult. I've seen it be used as an insult for those around me, and in a way it makes sense why people are unable to accept something, because when there's people that are trying to go out of their way to help those that are transgendered, gay, bisexual, lesbian, and all that stuff, any of that community, and something like this is being used by multiple different sites saying, oh yeah, the freaking cisgendered is they'll never understand that they're horrible people. And it's just like the same thing when a freaking blocker that creates a tirade against gay people or those who have a different sexual orientation. There is multiple sexual orientations, and that I completely understand with, but granted, with this feeling of like uneasiness when I see the word cisgendered, it makes me feel like crap. And I don't like it that when someone tells me that what I'm saying is trash, when don't really understand the context, what I'm trying to say, what I'm trying to spread out there. So ultimately, I just want to try to say something more unique and to the point, that I am trying to help individuals in the world that are in these situations. And if someone came up to me and saying, "Oh yeah, I'm gay," I would support them. I got coworkers that are gay, and I'd be like, "Cool, you found your path, you found your way, and you shouldn't be forced to do anything different because you feel like you're unsafe." I don't want to be the person that causes someone to not be who they are because I'm uncomfortable. Granted, yes, I've grew up with a freaking a gay couple in my family. A lot of people kept on saying rumors about them within family members, but since I grew up with it, I understood it. Like, oh, it's just everyone has someone out there for them. He found someone of the same gender. That's no weirdness or unusual. Heck, the Romans, gayness was kind of a thing. Like, a lot of men always bed with another guy. It was kind of common. Not really much to say about that. However, I am just constantly irritated that I'm trying to be helpful or trying to share my feelings to hopefully understand why such articles have to even be placed. Now, if there is actual data, but it seemed like more of an opinion piece, not an actual scientific research article. Like data was collected properly, cross-referenced. No, this was just an article that just assumed, oh yeah, men, women that are cisgendered are not going to date someone that is transgendered. And though, granted, there might be truth to that statement, I saw that and I was just like instantly, like my gut just turned because I felt like I was being insulted because I'm not accepting. That's ultimately what I felt about the whole thing. And when someone actually wants to work with you and understand your position, maybe before, if they said something that might be uneasy or might make you feel uncomfortable, ask them to double check to say what they are meaning. Maybe the context of what you're hearing is not what they're trying to mean, because there are a lot of people out there that are just trying to help but are just mess up. Oopsie, I said something wrong. And especially with everything I see online, everything people do because something is not comfortable for them. Like, how many times people blame on millennials over something that is actually the cause and effect of a different generation. It's like, why is the millennial being blamed for the housing market? Like, oh, all these millennials don't know have a house yet, and they should have a house. They should be independent. Oh, they're just whiny little babies. And it's like, this is like the same thing they did with the previous generation and the generation before that. It seems like those who are technically responsible for the problems and causes of that, they just want to shift it to someone else. And it's a shame that that is the case. Well, it is the case how I feel about it. Now, another reason why I think cisgendered, or using cis as a means to describe someone of that annotation of being straight, or denoting or relating to a person whose sense of personal identity and gender corresponds with their birth sex, that makes perfect sense, that because cisgendered is actually supposed to be like the opposite of transgendered, as far as I understand and what I've seen in this conversation I had before. Now, ultimately, this person must have thought I was trying to be malicious, and with this day and age, that's common. do I want to throw up arms because I started becoming feeling uncomfortable? No, I'm going to learn from the situation and grow from it. Now, anyone can just say, who goes through a situation like this, that actually wanted to help someone, they can have a bad situation like this happen to them, and they become completely against it because they tried to help, they tried to understand, they tried to put their best foot forward, and their foot was stamped before they had a chance to really help, really try to do something positive, because they might have said something which they thought was okay. And this is an issue with information being transferred to the next generation down. When you do something like that, you are teaching someone that it's all right to do some things. And some people think that, oh, I'm an adult, I can say whatever the hell I want. I don't care about any of these peoples and all these immigrants and these millennials, and they're telling me what to do. And I'm like, that's fine. You can do whatever the heck you want, but there is always going to be a negative consequence thinking that you're the king of the world when you're not. Now, this is also something I want to bring up too. It's like, everyone's going to have a different opinion. Everyone's going to have a different perspective of their life because of how they grew up, who taught them, who understood them, and who they accepted. Now, will someone accept everyone all the time? No. There's always going to be that situation when someone gets accepted and others don't. Now, I pretty much said my piece of the matter, and hopefully people try to understand where I'm trying to come from. I'm not saying that the word is a bad thing. I have a gut feeling negatively because I've seen it being used as an insult so much that I have to preemptively act differently when there is no reason to do so. And I just hope the next person I talk to about this doesn't want to jump down my throat, because I'm just trying to explain that I only feel different of the matter. That's all. That's all. I thank you all for listening in. I'm actually going to be trying to do more videos more often. I recently just moved from my current previous roommate, which I've been trying to be friendly with the person ever since I moved in, but it came down to the point after living with them for a year and a few months that it's not working out. He kept on complaining that I had an odor issue, that I wasn't cleaning myself and stuff like that, even though every single day, there's been a few days when I just couldn't, or I was just so exhausted I fell asleep and I didn't take a shower. And that happens. But it seemed like he was just using an excuse to complain about me, even though every single time I was always trying to be friendly. I was always keeping sure that something was not going wrong and stuff like that. So I'm actually going to spend more time doing more streams, doing more videos to YouTube, because I was doing Twitch for a little bit, but I don't have the following to do so. If more people want me to do Twitch, I will be doing it when I can, but for right now, I'm not worried about it. So thank you all for watching and listening into my discussion. Maybe next time I'll have someone else with me to bounce off my feelings about any other problems I come across or someone else comes across. You all have a wonderful day.